This is the Lichtman Live post show. The best post show to ever exist on the internet. And nobody's ever shown me any evidence, any concrete evidence that there's a better post show than this. Not one person has ever showed me that evidence. We're live, Abe. Yo, Obsidian Knight. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you enjoyed Lichtman Live. This is the Lichtman Live post show. KS says, will you guys ever consider having guests on your show? Could be the perfect long format venue for Democrats to get their message out. Yes, I got to work on that. You know, the issue is, like, if you're watching my dad's live, the issue is, you know, I do literally everything. I do the video editing, which takes hours. I do the promotion through social media, the creation of thumbnails, the back end YouTube analytics. I do everything. So it's like I don't have, and I have also a full 9 to 5 regular job. So I just don't have time in the day to be, you know, reaching out to people and booking people. I don't have, you know, people have booking agents for that. You know, it's a hard task. So I would like to do that. I just would need to, I guess, find the time and energy. I don't know. Will it be? Oh, we forgot to talk about Thanksgiving. I don't think there will be a Thanksgiving episode. No, unfortunately. Broadcasting to your subscribers often means people will ignore them, which is bad for the algo. I don't understand that. Broadcasting to your subscriber often means people will ignore. Can you, Dustin? Can you clarify what you mean? Bernie is creating a Green Party 2.0. Yeah, I saw some rumors about that. Like, he's trying to create his own party, or like headlines being like, is Bernie creating his own party? But I haven't seen anything concrete about that. Maybe Dustin is saying that you need better outreach to a new audience. But how do you do that? Oh, shorts? I mean, we create shorts. Best way to grow a channel is with shorts posted without notifying subscribers, because if subscribers ignore the notification, it hurts the metrics. Okay, I didn't know that. How old am I? I'm 32. So like what? So I don't even know how that would work. You'd have to turn shorts notifications off. Is there that specific of a setting within YouTube? I've been asking for months if your dad would please do a ranking of the first ladies this Thanksgiving. Too late now, laugh out loud. We can still do that. It doesn't need to be on Thanksgiving, right? Hello, Ruben. Captra says, just passing by, Scaro sent you a DM on Discord. You might want to check it out. Have a good one. Scaros? Unfortunately, I get a lot of friend requests on Discord, so I don't usually check them. Let me see. Scaros. Oh, it's about Discord stuff. All right, I'll have to deal with that some other time. I don't have the bandwidth to deal with that right now. Are families really breaking up over the election? I don't know. I don't know. How would I have the? I don't know. I don't know. How would I have the answer to that? The Keggy says, I'm done with them. So I'm joining Bernie's party as soon as it starts. Okay, that's fair. Do you, boo? Hello, Tim M. Sammy should become Bernie's VP. Yeah, I'm going to go from 8,000 subscriber on YouTube to vice president. That seems likely. Abe says, I think people are taking a break from political shows for the moment due to disappointment. People like David Pakman and others are seeing the same thing. Viewers will come back in time. I agree. And I've told my dad that like many times since the election. I don't know why he's so obsessed with it. And I've told him, like, look, everybody on planet Earth who does political content is taking a hit right now. It's just the nature of elections. But he keeps asking about it. I don't know why. Obsidian Knight says, we don't need a third party. It just makes Republicans win. Well, third parties in the 90s made Democrats win, so. Lichtman versus Trump debate? Well, how would that work? Cynthia says Trump is a moron and he can get elected twice, then by comparison, you can achieve anything. That's funny. Democrats should just say F it and close the border, then we'll win elections. I mean, the border is closed. I don't know what you mean by that exactly. What do you think about Morning Joe? Will they lose their show? I don't watch Morning Joe. I don't have many thoughts about them in general. What happened to the Tea Party? It turned into MAGA. That's what happened to the Tea Party. Comcast is selling MSNBC? Really? Is that true? Let me look that up. 1 second. Comcast, MSNBC. Seems to be true. Or Comcast is creating their own cable news network. The media coverage of this is weirdly thin. I don't know. No one wants to buy it. MSNBC has been spun off from the parent company NBC, and rumors have it that Elon is planning to purchase it. Well, there's a headline here that he says he's riffing about buying it. Whether he actually does, who knows? Who feels worse after the loss, Hillary or Kamala? Probably Hillary. Because that woman was the heir apparent president for since 2008. And it never came to be. I mean, Harris was thrown into the mix in 2 months. She's probably like, I'm just going back to my regular life. You know what I mean? Hillary, because she won the popular vote. That's a good point, too. Sam, just wanted to clear up that I'm not a MAGA supporter. Had quite a few chatters get upset with me because I tend to explain why many voters felt disenfranchised by the Democratic Party. Thank you, Michael Nightwolf. Comcast is selling off its cable holdings. Got it. Is this late show? This is the post show. It looks to me, LB says, it looks to me that Trump is purposely trying to crash our economy. It's obvious. But why? Why would he purposely try to crash our economy? Sam, who are your Super Bowl picks? Let me look at the NFL standings right now. Just so I get a full picture of what's happening. All right, let's see. In the AFC, I'm going with my Baltimore Ravens. In the NFC, I'm going with the Lions. I'm going with the Super Bowl that everybody wanted last year. I think it's going to happen this year. Biden and Dems have to learn from the fact that Liquid is not our friend. Their cabinet literally waited for after the election to finalize de-escalation. The fact that Liquid, what is Liquid? L-I-K-U-D. Are you talking about Israel? Oh, the party within Israel. Right. A political party within Israel. Here's the thing, though. My dad talked about this for a little bit. Trump can't take credit for this win now. It happened under the Biden administration. Okay, he can say it happened after I was elected, but what did you do tangibly to make it happen? You had no power. Trump is trying to weaken the country so it will be easier to control. I listened to Elon telling people that they shouldn't go to college, just get a job and start having kids. Maybe. I don't know if these guys are thinking that, if these guys are that like forward minded or that like theoretical. I don't know. Since when does Trump require facts to back up his bragging? I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Trump would take credit for building the Brooklyn Bridge if he could. You're not wrong. Michael Nightwolf says, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe AOC and Bernie Sanders were correct by listening to the voters. People haven't been happy. Trump will probably destroy a lot. Dems can now change. Okay. Elon just supports Trump because he wants to manipulate him since Trump is gullible. I hear that. When the economy is booming in a year, don't you dare say it was Biden. What could Trump do in the next year that would make the economy boom that would 100% be his doing? The economy doesn't work like that. The economy is a slow-moving ship. In the next year, anything that happens to the economy is most likely due to the past Biden administration. Will the Lichtman family watch the inauguration? I don't know. Probably not. If Trump hadn't been elected, there likely wouldn't be a ceasefire. Prove that. Tell me something tangible that proves that point. That's nothing but conjecture. My dog is snoring. Why did Dems never talk about Trump adding $8 trillion to the national debt and had negative job creation? He was a disaster to the economy. Again, as me and my dad said a million times, their messaging was atrocious. The Republicans boxed them into a corner, and all Democrats did was play defense. And it was a bad strategy, obviously. Mandolia says Biden's infrastructure stuff will take time to get finished. Trump will take credit for it like he did Obama's economy. I agree with you. Are we doing a show on Thanksgiving? I don't believe so. I think we're going to take off on Thanksgiving. The only thing Trump can do is open up federal lands to crude oil drilling, increasing domestic energy production, but he's too dumb to do anything. Yes, Trump will drill, reindustrialize, and tariff the economy will boom. But that's going to take a long time for those things to affect the economy, no? You are straight lying, and you know the economy will be better under Trump. How can I be lying about my opinion? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know the economy will be better under Trump. Ruben says, I think the DOGE department will be a propagandist department. I foresee Musk trying to run a version of the Twitter files on the government. He will conveniently ignore Republican corruption. I kind of agree with that wholeheartedly. Brendan Ziegler says, I truly believe we will survive in the end, but it's going to be a rough 4 years for sure. That's kind of the mindset I have as well. How come you guys are always against Trump and not Biden? Because we believe that the things Trump does are bad for our democracy and we disagree with him on policy, and we agree with most of the policy decisions of Biden. I mean, it's not rocket science. Why does anybody support anybody and not support another? Usually it's a policy-based thing, an ideological-based thing. Pretty simple. Tariffs and trade war will lead to an unstable economy for the next decade. Well, that's quite a strong statement by Teddy Strongbear. Hey, when you got strong in your name, you make strong statements, you know? If your dad's YouTube channel sells any merch with my designs on them, could I get 20% of the net revenue? Whoever we partner with, if we do any type of merch, of course, there will be business negotiations once those become concrete. So Biden was perfect. What? Guys, wash that toxicity off yourself that the internet has given to you. When did I ever say Biden was perfect? I never said that. I know on the internet you have to troll, you have to put words into people's mouth, but hey, there's only 196 people watching. Let's just be real with each other here, you know? But Sam, Trump did a lot for your country. It's just your media in America talk a lot of bullshit about Trump. I have a brain, and I often do my own research, and I look at news stories from both sides, from center, from research from universities. So I'm not just listening to what the media tells me and regurgitating that. I've done my own research and exploration about Trump. I don't know what you mean by he did a lot for our country. I don't agree with you. Do you think James Carville has worthwhile things to say? I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't comment on that. Ukraine was a disaster. Afghanistan was a disaster. The COVID lockdown was a disaster. The vaccine mandates were a disaster. The economy was a disaster. Social cohesion is bad. America helped save Ukraine, so I don't know what you mean by it was a disaster. Afghanistan was a war that, vast majority of Americans want to get out of. Yes, there were some casualties, but that was bad. The COVID lockdowns mostly happened under Trump. The vaccine mandates mostly happened under Trump. So easily combat your talking points, whatever absurd talking points you have. Steve resurrected. The constant bashing of Trump and the extreme analogies, I think, helped get him elected. I don't agree with you. You're telling me your average American is sitting there like, man, I'm just so mad that MSNBC is calling Trump X, Y, and Z. I'm going to go out of my way to vote for him. I don't think so. Have you ever considered doing podcast-style talk sessions with other political/historical commentators, Heather Cox, Richardson, etc.? No, but we probably should. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if my dad would be up for a podcast style thing, but maybe I should ask him. But I don't know if that would be more or less successful than the live stuff we're doing now. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Do we keep doing these live things where we just kind of ask questions? Or do we do a more standard podcast, sit down style where we record it and then post it the same day? That's a good question. Maybe that's something I should think about a little bit more, is like maybe the format of what we're doing isn't the right format anymore, just because, again, people want to hear what my dad has to say on a dated, on a two days a week basis. They come, but now that the live stream is like a podcast, that's another thing. It's like, there's not really a huge difference between the two, but it seems like there is a difference between the two when it comes to the algorithm. Turn them into podcasts, but they're already it's already a podcast. How do I turn something that's already basically a podcast into a podcast? Though Glue Cement says, don't do podcast format. What y'all are doing is great. All right. Live stream format is more engaging. All right. Live is nice because editing takes so much time. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the time to edit podcasts, that's for sure. Keep doing what you're doing. You can always do another show that features guests. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's like a live and maybe a guest-based show. The streams are enough. Don't ever do it. All right. I don't know. A lot of contrary opinions here. What about a live stream with guests? Yeah, we could do that too. Yeah, there are many options. The only thing is, it seems like the live streams, when they get posted, don't do very well in the algorithm compared to like a posted podcast, but I'm not really sure. And the other thing is, in a perfect world, if I had the time and energy and bandwidth, after the live show, we would then glean that and post it as a podcast to Spotify, Apple, etc. But again, I just don't have the mechanism or the time to do that. Can clip the live streams and post them as videos. Again, that takes, I don't think people realize, clipping stuff from an hour-long live stream takes so long. It takes so much time and energy. I mean, best case scenario, we'd have an editor, right? But we don't really make enough money to hire somebody to be a full-time editor. So again, it's complicated. Didn't you guys post clips of old shows back then? Yeah, but that's because I was doing it in my free time and I just got burnt out. I just couldn't maintain that schedule. Get a college intern? Maybe, but then the thing is, I also want to produce high quality content. I don't want to just post garbage. I don't know. I did hire this firm that did shorts for us for a while, but I just felt like their selection of shorts was just really poor. Their editing was really nice, but the stuff they were picking from the live shows to turn into shorts, it just wasn't that interesting and it wasn't doing that well. So I just didn't feel like paying them anymore. Sounds like a lot of excuses. It's not that I have a lot of excuses, just that I just don't know which direction to take, People are really liking the intern thing. Maybe I should explore that. You can get editors on Fiverr. Yeah. Lichtman News Network. That's funny. There's lots of skills. Clendon says, I understand what you said, but when the intern proposal came, you responded like that about garbage content. It means you're just making excuses, bruh. For real. There's a lot of skilled editors. Okay. Damn, people are really, really coming after me. I'm just thinking out loud, guys, okay? Sounds like posting the Apple or Spotify might be very productive. Yeah, I think that could be potentially a good thing to do. Brainstorm. Yeah, I got to brainstorm. Do you think cable news is dead now? It's not dead, but it's certainly taken a hit, for sure. Prime Minister Bette Midler says, yo, everyone here needs to chill. Sam, do you think? Thank you. Like, I'm just thinking out loud, guys. Like, you're making excuses. It's like, Bro, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm trying to think this all through. Will there be a 2028 Keys prediction? I have no idea. Steve Schmidt would come on your show. Yeah, I think guests would be an interesting thing. And again, it's just like, do we want to have guests on our live with us, or do we want to do like a separate recording that we post? Like, again, more like a podcast guest style thing. Okay, let me do a quick poll on that. So for guests, would you like ... guests to come on our regular live show, a regular live, or separate recorded guest videos, episodes, I guess. All right. People are posting in the chat their opinion. Guys, just vote in the poll, okay? My mom says, I do not think your dad wants guests on the live, but you could always ask him. Yeah. That's an issue too. I have to, think about not just what's best for, like gaining members or gaining subscribers. Like, what is my dad willing to do? Do interviews on my channel? Nobody's going to come onto my channel. Like, I don't have the reach that my dad does. Sammy looks pissed. I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed at all. I like the interaction between Sam and his dad. Guests will wreck the vibe. Right, that's why I was kind of thinking of a separate thing. But I don't know if my dad would be interested in taking the time to just like, he's just kind of like, he's an old dude. He's had a whole career. Like, why does he want to sit down with a bunch of other people? He just kind of wants to come on live, talk to you all, and leave, If anybody is an editor or knows an editor, tell them to DM me on Instagram at Sammy Licht. Because I feel like an editor would help us a lot. I have 200 viewers now. People would turn into your lives. Maybe. Marco says, I like the show as it is. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I feel like my dad is also panicking and being like, we're losing viewers. It's like, I don't know. Like, again, everybody's taking a hit. We're going to climb back. I think the show is successful in its format. Raw Vegan Goddess says, I like the live the way it is. Just repost into podcast channels, edit a few, and post to YouTube to test the algorithm. Yeah, maybe that's the best. Maybe we don't need to change the whole format. It's just like we just need to expand the format we have. Because that's another thing. Like, we're creating so much content and it's just kind of like falling to the cutting room floor just because, again, we just don't have a team. We just don't have it. But yeah, if we got an editor that could do clips or shorts, and then I could just pull the audio and make podcast, put it on podcast versions, that would be good too, I think. So right now it's 63% that say guests just come on our regular live. And yeah, it doesn't have to be all the time. Maybe it can be occasionally. Here, I'm going to end this poll and say, start a poll. Should we be posting Lichtman live on podcast apps, Spotify, Apple, etc.? I do think that my channel, this is much better for guests because like I am more of a media, and I'm not a journalist, but I'm more in that vein than my dad is. You know what I mean? So like, I think guests would, I mean, again, we can have a guest every once in a while on my dad's show. But then again, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, well, he has a bigger pull. I don't really have a pull. I don't know. I know I haven't done much podcast work in a while, but a couple of years ago when I was doing podcasts, I know you had to have like an RSS feed and you had to pay for that. Is that still true? Does anybody know, to like get on Spotify and stuff like that? Hold on one second. You know, it's interesting. I was doing some research on podcasts the other night, and I was looking at it, and I was shocked to see how many like full-on conservative podcasts are on like the top 10 podcasts in the world. Like Candace Owens is like the 5th leading podcast on Spotify. Like I don't even get that. Like what is Candace Owens' demographic? That concerned me. I was like, God damn, like it's like some of these like random conservatives are beating The Daily. Like it's kind of nuts. Texas One says, I think you should post the entire live to podcast aggregators. RSS doesn't cost money. I thought they did. If you guys have info on getting audio on Spotify on the RSSs or Apple, please DM me on Instagram. Video editors, or if you know video editors and people with podcast RSS experience, please message me on Instagram. Candace Owens is a full-blown Holocaust denier. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm shocked that she's like the 5th leading podcast in the freaking world. Like, it's just like, what? You know what I mean? It's like she's the 5th leading podcast in the world. Let me see if I can find a Spotify podcast chart. Like, look at this. All right, Joe Rogan Experience is 1. That's pretty obvious. That's not that shocking. I don't even know who Sean Ryan is. Tucker Carlson, you're telling me, is the 3rd leading podcast on planet Earth? Candace Owens is the 9th best charting podcast on planet Earth? The Megyn Kelly show is the 3rd. Like, I don't know. I just can't. You're telling me that more people listen to the Megyn Kelly show than they do The Daily? More people listen to Candace than they do The Daily? I just can't wrap my mind around that. I just don't even get that. You're telling me this mother effer has the 23rd leading podcast on planet Earth? You're telling me that Dan Bongino has the 28th leading podcast on planet Earth? He's one behind Up First by NPR. I just can't wrap my mind around that. Okay, even Ben Shapiro, who is, I don't want to give him any credit, but the fact that Candace Owens is beating Ben Shapiro is weird to me on the podcast charts. That's just weird to me. You're out of touch, bro. No, I'm not out of touch. I'm so sick of like these right wingers coming in and being like, oh, you're a lefty, you're out of touch. These right wingers are spewing absolute nonsense. They're the ones that's out of touch. They're the ones that are manipulating people, applying to their biggest fears to try to get them to listen to their shows. I'm so sick, and I won't accept this bullshit that I'm out of touch. I won't accept it. It's bullshit. These motherfuckers are living in a different reality. They play by different rules. They lie to people. They manipulate people to listen to their shows. I won't fucking stand for this bullshit that I'm out of touch. I do so much research. I look into topics in such detail. I am not fucking out of touch. Lichtman live on the podcast charts would be amazing. I agree with that. You're not out of touch, but this is something that's happening. I've seen it. It all started with Huberman. They all each go on each other's shows to promote it. I mean, I'm not denying that they have a very good media strategy. I'm just shocked that these bullshitters like Charlie Kirk are getting this many people to listen to them every day. Propaganda is a very lucrative business. Exactly. Can I keep going down the charts? BPD, that's another right-wing podcast. Shapiro, another right-wing podcast. This is a left-wing podcast, but it's 37th. A lot of these I don't know. The Bulwark, I think that's, I don't know. I don't know about this guy. I think these guys are left-wing, right? Jordan Peterson, obviously he's right-wing. Yeah, we got to get on these podcast shows. Like, where, Call Her Daddy, right? Where is that ranked? Did I miss it? Okay, she's 20. You're telling me that more people listen to this is a cultural and global phenomenon, this show, Call Her Daddy. You're telling me that Charlie Kirk, like, it just blows my mind. And it's not because I'm fucking out of touch. It's because these motherfuckers are good at manipulating people, I guess. That's why. It blows my mind in the fact that they don't deserve this. This motherfucker does not deserve to be the 23rd best podcast on planet Earth. Oh, let me go back to the poll. Should we be posting Lichtman live podcast on apps? Apple? Yeah, 80% say yes. All right, I'm gonna do that. In fact, I might even do it tonight if I have time. I'm gonna sign off for now. I'm gonna try to work on this podcast stuff, and I know sometimes it takes a few days for it to like upload. But let me work on this. Again, please, if you have any experience in this, podcasting, video editing, etc., or if you know people, please message me on Instagram at SammyLicht. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I will see you all next week.